We always expected the end of human civilization to be loud. A war, an asteroid, a collapsing star. But 40 light-years away, on the surface of Proxima Centauri b, history didn't end with a scream.
It ended with a perfect mathematical silence. 10,000 pioneers simply vanished, leaving behind a fully functional ghost world. On August 14th, 2082, at exactly 8:12 UTC, the interstellar relay in Sector 7 registered a sudden, massive drop in bandwidth. At first, technicians at the Geneva Observatory assumed it was a standard solar flare interference from Proxima Centauri itself. Red dwarfs are notorious for their violent stellar activity. They expected the incoming data to fluctuate, to distort under the heavy radiation, and then to eventually recover.
But it didn't distort. It didn't degrade. It simply flattened into a perfectly straight line. For 40 years, the colony had generated a massive, continuous ocean of digital noise. Terabytes of biometric data, agricultural yields, atmospheric pressure readings, and thousands of personal subspace transmissions from 10,000 pioneers. It was the rhythmic, chaotic pulse of a new human civilization thriving under a foreign sun. Then, within 3 minutes, every single metric dropped to absolute zero. The automated life support systems didn't report a single malfunction. The main colonial network didn't go offline. In fact, the planetary servers were still fully powered, quietly drawing energy from the planet's immense geothermal vents. The carrier wave remained pristine, broadcasting a flawless, yet completely empty connection across the cosmic void. The machines were perfectly healthy, but the living data they were meant to carry had entirely vanished. It was as if someone had cleanly severed the link between human consciousness and the hardware running the colony. We spent months running desperate diagnostics, sending automated ping requests across the light years, hoping for a software glitch. But the universe only sent back the cold, mathematical echo of our own signal. The telemetry was undeniable. The city was intact, but humanity had left the channel. When our automated reconnaissance drone finally entered the thin atmosphere of Proxima b 3 decades after the silencing, the visual feeds didn't bring back images of war, structural destruction, or corporate sabotage. The monolithic megastructures were completely intact, towering like silent giants against the dark orange sky. The massive atmospheric processors were still chugging away, rhythmically recycling fresh oxygen for lungs that were no longer there to breathe in. The drone's advanced thermal optics glided over the central residential towers, searching for any sign of life. Nothing. No heat signatures, no biological remnants, not even the microscopic traces of decayed organic matter. Sleek mag-lev vehicles sat neatly parked in their subterranean transit lanes, their emergency battery cores fully charged and waiting. Inside the domestic sectors, synthetic meal trays remained untouched on common kitchen tables. Personal tablets were still active on desks, frozen mid-sentence on ordinary, mundane daily logistics. This was not a slaughter. It wasn't a sudden, panicked evacuation either, because the short-range escape pods were all accounted for, locked securely in their automated launch crates. It looked as if 10,000 pioneers had simply forgot to exist. The colony didn't collapse. It was perfectly preserved, like a pristine museum dedicated to a civilization that disappeared between two heartbeats. But as the drone descended into the primary server plaza, its cameras captured something even more unsettling. At the absolute center of the empty city, a massive geometric monument had been erected that was completely absent from the original structural blueprints.
A towering spire of smooth, reflective black glass, vibrating with a low-frequency hum that matched the exact rhythm of a resting human heartbeat.
As the reconnaissance drone approached the base of the massive black glass spire, every sensor on its advanced scientific chassis began to malfunction in a deeply specific way. This wasn't standard electromagnetic interference caused by the red dwarf star's solar winds. The drone's LiDAR arrays fired millions of high-energy laser pulses directly at the obsidian surface, but none of them bounced back to the receivers. The material wasn't reflecting or scattering the light. It was absorbing it entirely. It acted as an absolute physical vacuum for digital data. Desperate for telemetry, Mission Control instructed the probe to switch to high-frequency acoustic mapping, attempting to read the internal structural vibrations of the monument. That is when the true anomaly of Proxima B was finally decoded. The low hum vibrating through the plaza wasn't a mechanical cycle of the city's automated infrastructure. When the raw audio frequency was isolated and amplified through our deep space filters, we didn't hear machine code, we heard voices.
Thousands of distinct human voices, layered and synchronized into a singular, massive, whispering chorus. They weren't screaming in agony or calling for rescue across the void. They were breathing in perfect unison, speaking in a complex mathematical cadence that our supercomputers recognized instantly. It was the complete, uncompressed, neural architecture of the entire 10,000 population, broadcasting simultaneously from the crystal matrix. At the base of the spire, half submerged into the solid black glass, as if the material had once turned to liquid and solidified, the cameras found a single colonization spacesuit. The fabric was pristine, completely empty of the physical body. The organic flesh was gone, but the heavy armor remained perfectly intact. Inside the helmet, projected onto the interior of the polished visor from an unknown internal source, a single line of text was blinking. The housing is satisfied. The state of matter has changed.
The cryptic message blinking inside the empty helmet was not a software malfunction. It was a definitive statement of completion. The 10,000 pioneers of Proxima Centauri b had not encountered an extinction event. They had executed a deliberate, hyper-dimensional upgrade.
As the reconnaissance drone's transmission window began to fail, long-range telescopes back on Earth detected a massive, unprecedented ripple in the space-time fabric surrounding the exoplanet. The black glass spire was no longer just a passive monument. It had activated as a massive quantum anchor, pulling the planet's entire electromagnetic field into its crystalline core.
The transformation was absolute. Human biology, with its fragile and temporary constraints of flesh, blood, and bone, had been completely discarded. The colonists had successfully translated their collective consciousness into a permanent digital medium, fusing themselves directly into the planet's quantum matrix.
The brutalist spires stand empty because the colony has migrated beyond the limitations of the physical spectrum. They have not left Proxima B, they have become it. And as the final telemetry stream cuts to black, our deep space arrays confirm a terrifying new metric. The spire's heartbeat frequency has suddenly shifted its direction, and it is now broadcasting directly